Hi, Swee. Thank you very much for joining me in this conversation about your journey as in becoming a supervisor. And I'd like to invite you to share a little bit about yourself, who you are as a human, who you are as a coach, and where are you based?
Hi, Andrea. Yeah, great to see you. Right, let me talk a little bit about myself. I've been working for the last 43 years. The last 12 years, I've set up my own coaching company and have been coaching for the last 12 years, right there since 2010. And before that, I was working for 3 large organizations. I started from the military, and I'm based in Singapore. So I was in the Singapore Ministry of Defense as a military commander, and then moving on to Deloitte and to another company called Reed Elsevier, which is a FTSE 100 company. Yeah, and so over the last 31 years, where I was working in these 3 large organizations, I gathered a lot of leadership practitioner experiences, and so I kind of look at human resource, leadership, and operations. On the personal side, I enjoy running. I've been running once every 2 days, just to keep fit. I just believe that we need to have a healthy body, do all the work, all the exciting work they want to do, right? So I take care of my body. And then I also enjoy cooking. I cook for my family. It's part of the fun, right? Cooking is a hobby to me. And also because becoming more health conscious, so what I buy, what I put in the food become important, right? So kind of health related. And I cook for my family. My wife, she works in a bank. And then I have 2 children. They are grown up. 27-year-old son, he's working as a software developer. And my daughter, she's 24 years old. She's working as a data analyst. Right, that's my personal side of it. On the professional side, the last 12 years, I'm a shared leadership team coach. Currently, I'm the head of the Shared Leadership Team Coach Academy. We kind of train coaches, develop coaches to become team coaches, shared leadership team coaches. For this, I work with another organization as partners. And I'm also an executive coach. I'm an MCC. I got my MCC last year as a master certified coach in ICF. And that allows me also to do a lot of mentoring work, mentor coaches to help them to get their credentials. Yeah. And now a certified supervisor. And that is another exciting milestone for me. Yeah. So this is the coaching space in the last 12 years. Besides working with clients, right, as a team coach, right? Because I also enjoy working directly with clients as much as developing coaches. I also enjoy writing, right? There's another side of me. It's all part of this space of I have this personal mission or purpose in life of developing a better world, and it is through leaders, better teams. And one of the ways I am sure all of us know in this circle is one of the ways to spread the message really is through our writings, right? Or through books, through articles. So I wrote a book on coaching, how to coach in the moment, and I've just completed another book with a partner. It's a co-author book on shared leadership. How can leaders and coaches, or how can leaders share their leadership, and how can coaches help in the process? Right, that's a little bit about me.
What a journey, and it's such a vast. It's full of experiences, right? Going from military to really training leaders and making the world a better place, and developing coaches. It's what a journey you had. And I'm really curious to hear, how did supervision come into your journey, and why did you become why did you decide to train as a supervisor?
Right, that's a good question. I heard about supervision, right? Because in ICF we have International Coaching Week. There'll be a session on coaching supervision, and a 1-2 hour segment on that. It was it kind of got into my head that, yeah, okay, there's in the world, there's this part about supervision. And very interestingly was that one of the speakers, she said, I've been doing a lot of mentoring. I'm a mentor coach. I mentor a lot. And now I'm a supervisor. And she said she enjoys supervision more than mentoring. Okay, I mean, it's just a knowledge to me, right? Because I'm the audience. It does mean a lot to me, right, at that time. Yeah? And my foray into supervision is actually because of a requirement. ICF, the International Coaching Federation, they started this new credentials called the Advanced Certification in Team Coaching, ACTC. Right, it's a brand new certification, right? Yeah, and because they are emphasizing team coaching in recent years, since 2000 and since 2020, they started to roll out team coaching competencies, and as part of it, they created these new credentials. I was fortunate to be invited to be one of the pilots, because they started as a pilot first, right? So I was one of those who were invited to be part of the pilot. And in the pilot application, there is a requirement, 10 hours of supervision by a certified supervisor. All right. It's no longer about knowing. Now it's about being super, right? Yeah. And what I find interesting, right, was that I couldn't find a certified supervisor from my own circle, from my own knowledge. Essentially, it's not out there where I say, oh, you're a certified supervisor. I'm sure in Singapore there are, but in my own circle, I was hard pressed to look for a certified supervisor. It was actually a deterrent at that time for me, a discouragement, in a sense that, oh, okay, this is a tough requirement, and we were given so little time to complete the application. I almost gave up, actually, because of this requirement, right? Until someone introduced me, and we got ourselves together to go through the 10 hours. Yeah. So that was how I stepped into supervision, right? It's more because of a requirement. Yeah.
And now that you're in it, you've experienced it, how do you see supervision?
Yeah, and this was actually eye-opener. Yeah, because we have a certified supervisor, and we did a group supervision, right? So my 10 hours was done through a group supervision. So we are three of us, three shared leadership coaches that came together to be supervised by this person. And I must say it was an eye opener, right? Because I started to bring up things that, being a coach, I didn't realize that there are so many couple of things that is inside me, but I didn't have any opportunity to bring it up. There's no appropriate space to bring it up, right? So I give an example, right? One of them are some words that triggers me. And it can be from anybody. It can be from a coachee, it can be from a participant in a workshop, or it can even be a fellow colleague, right? And the word is confused. If I say something, right, I explain something, and somebody says, I'm confused. Ooh.
It really triggers you.
Oh, that triggers me, right? Yeah. But when there's no space to talk about it, okay, it triggers me. I'm aware subconsciously. I'm aware at that moment. I'm aware, but I can't put it one side and okay, life goes on, move on, right? Yeah. But because of that space, right, I was able to reflect on it and say, yeah, I want to talk about it. And then when I started to talk about it, it became quite revealing. Yeah. Why was I triggered by that simple word called confused? Yeah. And then how can I manage it better, right? Because I cannot stop people from saying they're confused. But I can manage myself better in how I handle the word confused. Right? And as a result, right now you can say confused many times. It doesn't bother me. So I feel that there's a growth, right? There's a personal growth for me as a coach. And there are a few more. I mean, every session there will always be this revelation, right? This is something that I bring up, and I like the group supervision because it's not only what I bring up; it's also someone else that brings something out. I say, yeah, I can identify with that. I can relate to that, And I feel that there are actually multiple growth, right, in a single session when we were doing the group supervision. So I was addicted to it in a sense, right? I was convinced by it and after the 10 hours supervision, I said, okay, I must look for a program, right, to be a certified supervisor myself. Right? And that was where I went out there to look out for what would be a suitable program that I can sign up. Yeah, and then that happens early last year, and November I graduated, so I'm very happy. Yeah.
Congratulations. So you found ICCS, and you studied, you qualified, and I'm really curious in the process in the training, because you did mention you experienced group supervision, and it was really beneficial for you. You discovered a space where you addressed things where you couldn't address that you couldn't address in other spaces. And I'm curious, how did the training develop you, and what did you learn? What were those additional things that you discovered through the supervision training? Maybe about yourself and about also helping other coaches.
Yeah. One of my own learning, I kind of liken it to a fish in a fish tank, right? Yeah, as a coach, we are inside the fish tank, busy with all the other fishes. Yeah, and so what I learned about supervision is actually being outside the tank, looking in and see how am I swimming, right? How am I interacting, so on, right? So I'll say that so what I went through in the program really allows me to step out of the tank, out of the fish tank, yeah, and then to see from the system perspective, from a more global perspective. In fact, I feel that as a result of the training, the program I went through, supervision really has that. It's more rounded, all-rounded, yeah. Especially when I do mentor coaching. Mentor coaching is really one slice of it, yeah. Where supervision has an all-round part of it, and as I go through the program, because in the program we are also both where there's practice, right? There's a fishbowl practice whereby we take turns to become the supervisor, and some take turns to become the supervisee, right? So there's a lot of practice in every session. Almost every session, there will always be time allocated for the practice, yeah. And so I think that kind of reinforce this thing about the ability to step back and see the bigger picture, yeah. Now, so and that benefit. I actually feel that I actually become a better coach. I mean, I still do coaching, but because of this, looking at things from more systemic level, from a system, the 7 I's, those kind of things. When I have coached, I actually do bring that into the coaching as well. So my coaching has improved.
And that's something that it's very common that we hear a lot, and I've experienced it myself in becoming the supervisor, that my coaching has really matured. And maturity is a word. The word mature is something that a lot of coaches use. Or they matured as a coach, and it's something very common that is not only your knowledge about supervision increases, but it's also you as a coach, you change, and it benefits your coaching practice, benefits as well.
Right. Yep. Certainly. Yeah.
And looking forward, you did mention you have a coaching school, the academy that you work with. I'm curious, and I'm curious, where are you taking supervision looking forward? Who do you see yourself supervised? How do you see yourself using supervision?
From the demand point of view, right? Demand for supervision, yeah. I think will increase globally, right? And simply because ICF has this requirement for those who are applying for the advanced certification in team coaching. They must have supervision hours. Yeah. In fact, they revise it from 10 hours. They revise it downwards to 5 hours. Right. They must have at least 5 hours of supervision. Right. So I think for those who are interested to get the credentials, they will have to then look for a certified supervisor to get the 5 hours, right? And this is globally, right? Because I see it globally. So I'll see that there's going to be uptick in the demand for certified supervisors. Yeah. For myself and the academy, we are already seeing that. And so one of the things from the program that I learned, yeah. So I'm really starting to have group supervision programs, right, to make it available for team coaches who wants to be supervised, right, to come as a group. Yeah. Of course, we can also provide the individual services, but the group one needs a lot more structure in terms of calendar and scheduling and registering and things like this. Yeah. So this is the part that as part of the Shared Leadership Team Coaching Academy, right, where we're providing that. It's actually interesting to share with you some results from the inquiry report, right? As part of the ICCS requirements is that we need to do some to write 3 essays, and one of the essays is about inquiry, right? To inquire anything that interests you. So one of the things that interests me is what is the level of knowledge of supervision among coaches in Singapore. Right, that was the topic in my head. And I went about doing a research, right? So there were total of 37 coaches. They were credential coaches. They participated in the survey, and then what the survey results showed that let me see, 37%, only 37% have a clear idea what supervision is. In other words, the other 63% may not know, doesn't have a clear idea. Some people doesn't know, right? So it's only 37%. And only less than half, 48%, knows the benefit of supervision. So what I'm saying is that in this survey, it's very enlightening, right? Among all these certified experienced coaches, less than half have a clear idea about what supervision is as well as the benefit. So I see the upside actually. There are in the thousands of coaches, right, in Singapore as well as and everywhere. Yeah. Right. So in a sense, I'm excited.
And the results are very, very exciting, showing that there's a lot of room for supervision to be introduced, both in terms of education and in terms of support for the coaches, right?
Yeah, right. And I think there's a bigger thing than this, right? Because it's a question I always ask. Coaches, we support our clients. In fact, we support our clients very well, and we what we call in service of our clients. Everything's in service of our clients, right? Yeah. And the question is that who support us as coaches, right? One day our fuel tank is going to run dry, right? For lack of support, and then we cannot support our clients. So I think it is the well-being of the coach, in all aspects, right? Both personal as well as professional, to need the support. Yeah. So I see it as a bigger thing is that from the sustainability point of view, right? How do we sustain ourselves, and how can we become even better than what we are doing now? Yeah. So I think the answer, now I'm an advocate in supervision. The answer lies in supervision.
That is the restorative function, right, of supervision that you just mentioned. And coaching can be quite a lonely job, where, as you said, we do need that space where we support ourselves and somebody helps us in this process. And it's also the quality, right, of coaching, the standards. Supervision supports maintaining a certain standard of coaching through its normative function and formative functions.
Right. And having a trained person to support us, I think will bring it up even higher. Of course, we can have a friend. I mean, we can some friends and another coach to kind of help us to hear us out. I mean, and I'm sure as coaches sometimes because of a hard day, we probably will just talk about it, right? Yeah, just to
peer support.
Just peer support, yeah. But then when you have someone who is better trained, properly trained, I think that becomes even more effective. Yeah. I remember a few years ago, that was one of my lowest point. Yeah. I was running this team coaching session, right, with a client, and it was a Saturday, one whole day, and after lunch, we would continue to do some work, and then I must have stepped on the toe of the managing director who was part of the thing, right? He pulled me one side and gave me a huge shouting. He shouted at me.
Oh.
So I was shell shocked. Not enough about it, but that was not I didn't expect that coming. I never expected it, right? I was so shocked, right? And then he demanded that the training, that session be stopped immediately. He doesn't want to go on anymore. Wow. Okay, so I found a way, right? I was too calm at that moment and try my best to appear courageous, brave, as though nothing happened, right? Because this shouting was done in a private, right? Yeah. We closed the session 2 hours ahead of time, right? But then after that, I felt so wounded, right? Yeah, and there was no one to talk to. I didn't expect it, so there isn't any resource actually, yeah. Because it was a Saturday, so I had my Saturday night, my whole Sunday, I was nursing it, and just trying to recover on my own, right? And thank God I kind of recovered, yeah. But I'm just thinking, it can happen to anyone, and if I have a supervisor, I'll think it's become my immediate resource. Hey, supervisor, can we have a session? I need it. I think that would make a lot of difference. Yeah,
it's a very specific example.
I'm fortunate that I probably was able to walk out of it in a positive way, but some may not be able to. Some may be hit so hard and have a harder time to get out of it. Yeah.
Yes, and with the supervisor, you might be able to come out of it quicker.
Yeah.
It's not necessary that you don't come out of it, but you come out of it quicker, or or don't bring with you some past or reminiscences, right, from that experience, so you fully explore it and reflect on it.
Yeah.
And Swee, as you were talking about, the peer-to-peer support that can be similar to supervision but not supervision, and then you mentioned about the training. A question that comes to mind is, especially with very experienced coaches, why not supervise from experience and with existing skills? Why train to become a supervisor?
Well, yeah, I think that's a great question. We can do peer support, right? But I suppose the peer support will come from our own point of view, our own experience, our own perception, right? And then that's how we support. I mean, it's still something. I mean, it is still something because the experience counts and things like this, yeah. Whereas if you go through proper training in the supervision, yeah, and I love what I learned, yeah, in the program, whereby we were introduced to concepts, yeah, the various concepts, whether it's positive psychology, solution focus, systems thinking, Karpman drama triangle, transactional analysis. So I'll say that it kind of beef me up, because some of the concepts is something where I actually didn't pay a lot of attention to the details, but because of what I learned in the program, I find that I actually have a broader capabilities in a sense, that when someone has an issue, I can probably bring some of this in, right? It could be about transactional analysis that I'm hearing it, right? So maybe I just introduce that and enlighten the participant, the coach. And I think that's what I like about supervision, because supervision, you use different methods or different approaches, right? We can use coaching. Sometimes we can use information, this is sharing, right? Or sometimes mentoring, share some experience, or sometimes even prescriptive. To say, no, I don't. I mean, can even become prescriptive. I think this is the beautiful part about supervision, right? Yeah, that it is whatever it is best for the coach. I mean, I'll see that way. Whatever is best for the coach at that time, right? Yeah. And I think this way someone who didn't go through formal training versus someone that just support from their own experience. I think that's where the difference is. And the beneficiary is really the person, right? It's actually the person. Yeah. And then now I understand why I can't relate back to the webinar that I attended, right? Organized by the International Coaching Federation, Coaching Week, where the person says, I now enjoy supervision more than mentoring. Now I know where this person is coming from.
Full circle. Now you've also experienced what they were saying. So it raised your curiosity, and now you've experienced it and also qualified as a supervisor.
Right. Yeah.
So before we close this beautiful conversation, is there anything else that you would like to say to a coach who's considering to become a supervisor, a trained supervisor?
One is if they have not tasted it, taste it. Yeah, I think we have to experience it as a supervisor first. Yeah, to really know what supervision can do for us. Yeah, I think with that, then you find that I'll say there's a lot more personal conviction that this is an important part of our development as coaches. Yeah. So if I looking for long term as coach, I don't think we can do it alone. It will run. It's a matter of time before we run dry, right? Yeah. So I think supervision is a powerful way of strengthening ourselves. I liken it to a gym, right? Yeah, where it is about maintaining our muscles, if not building new muscles, right? Yeah, and in the space we have that mirror in the gym, right? You have a mirror to look at ourselves, and then we have the weight machine to strengthen us, right? And then we also have a shower, right? In the gym, you have the shower where you get the cold shower and also refresh.
What a beautiful metaphor. Never thought about it, but it's a really good metaphor.
Yeah.
With the gym. Great. Thank you so much, Swee, for your time and sharing your journey in becoming a supervisor. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your time. Yeah. Thank you.